Have you ever felt like your mind is just perpetually running,
Oh, yeah.
constantly buzzing with every what if, replaying past conversations, or anxiously fast forwarding to future worries?
Like you're always on alert.
Exactly. It's like being constantly on alert, unable to truly relax even when you desperately want to. That feeling of being perpetually on edge, even when, well, everything around you is calm.
It's a remarkably common experience, that relentless mental clutter. It often feels like your brain is running a marathon you never signed up for, leaving you unable to be truly present.
Absolutely. Well, today we're taking a deep dive into a guide that offers a pathway to quiet that internal noise. Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we explore Nick Trenton's insightful book, The Art of Letting Go. Stop overthinking, stop negative spirals, and find emotional freedom.
Nick Trenton's background is quite unique, which I think gives his work a distinct flavor. He grew up on a farm in rural Illinois.
Right, kind of down to earth.
Totally.
Hmm.
But then went on to earn a BS in economics and an MA in behavioral psychology. So that journey from like the practicalities of farm life to the intricacies of the human mind has clearly shaped his very actionable, down-to-earth advice.
And he's written a lot, right? Over 30 books.
Yeah, over 30 psychology books. He's really about giving you tools you can use today.
Okay, let's unpack this for you, our listener. Our mission today is, well, to help organize that mess in your mind. Trenton's book isn't just theory. It's presented as a shortcut to inner peace and emotional freedom, showing us how to take the reins of our thoughts, influence our own happiness, and, truly embrace the present moment.
It's kind of about recognizing that our brains might still be wired for a 10,000 BC world, maybe, always scanning for threats.
Yeah, and learning that we actually can let our guard down sometimes.
Exactly. And the beauty of this book is it offers a whole toolkit, not just one single idea.
Yeah.
So over the next few minutes, we're going to explore some foundational psychological concepts. We'll get into the Stoic dichotomy of control, how to practice non-judgmental observation of emotions, and specific techniques like self-distancing.
And crucially,
We'll look at how to maybe rewire anxious connections to defeat perfectionism and embrace what Trenton calls excellentism.
ooh, I like that term, excellentism.
Yeah, and also how to master our inner dialogue and navigate challenging relationships, including the profound act of forgiveness.
So let's kick things off with what feels like the bedrock principle for a lot of this, the dichotomy of control. This is a powerful Stoic idea, right? Making that clear distinction between what's in your power and what isn't. But why is this so fundamental, really?
Well, one key insight here is that true inner peace isn't some elusive state you have to chase. It's often a direct consequence of understanding and accepting where your agency truly lies.
What you can actually do something about.
Precisely. So what falls within your power? Your opinions, your motivations, your desires, your actions, and your reactions.
Okay, your internal stuff.
Mostly, yeah. And what's beyond your control? Well, external circumstances, other people's thoughts or feelings, your body's natural processes, your property, your reputation, the unpredictable flow of the universe, basically.
Yeah, the big stuff.
Right. As Epictetus, a key figure in Stoicism, famously put it, some things are within our power, while others are not. Simple, but profound.
So when you realize your emotional well-being isn't just at the mercy of external events.
But rather your response to them, it's a fundamental shift. It turns that feeling of helplessness into, well, empowerment.
That's a powerful idea, but I can imagine some listeners thinking, okay, sounds great, but easier said than done. What are some everyday scenarios where this distinction makes a tangible difference?
Oh, plenty. Think about a student preparing for an exam. You can control your study habits, how much time you put in, asking for help.
The effort part.
The effort part. But you can't control how difficult the exam is, the specific questions they ask, or how other students perform by channeling your energy into what's manageable.
You actually do better, probably.
You improve your performance, yeah. But maybe more importantly, you reduce the stress that comes from worrying about factors you just can't change.
Or the classic example, traffic.
The classic,
Yeah.
stuck in traffic, you can't control the gridlock, absolutely zero control. But you can control your response.
Right. Get angry
Or stew in frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you can switch on an audiobook, maybe do a quick breathing exercise, or just appreciate a moment of unexpected quiet. The book gives an example of John and Olivia.
Yeah.
He used to try and control everything in his life and their relationship. But he found real happiness and a deeper connection when he learned to let go of that need, that urge to control, and just focus on his own responses.
So it's really about taking back control of your own internal experience rather than trying to bend the external world to your will.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
What are some practical steps someone can take, like today, to start applying this? Trenton suggests cultivating present moment awareness through mindfulness. Simple stuff like a quick body scan or even just being fully present while you're showering, noticing the sensations.
Okay, mindfulness. What else?
Second step is to habitually ask yourself, in pretty much any situation, what can I actually control here? It becomes like a mental filter.
I like that. A filter.
Yeah. And third, for those kind of ambiguous situations, accept partial control, like a job interview. You can meticulously control your prep, your presentation.
How you show up.
Exactly. But the interviewer's ultimate preferences
Yeah.
or the specific needs of the company at that moment out of your hands. So focus on your controllable actions.
Makes sense.
And for a really clear visual aid, he even suggests a 2-minute dichotomy of control meditation. Just draw 2 circles. In one, list things in your control, and in the other, things out of your control.
Huh.
Simple.
Crazy.
Surprisingly effective. It clarifies where to channel your energy and helps alleviate those feelings of helplessness.
That sounds like a powerful way to reframe our daily struggles. Okay, so we've honed in on controlling our reactions to the world. But what about the source of so much of that internal noise, our own thoughts and feelings? How do we start reshaping our inner landscape?
Right, this brings us to non-judgmental thinking. The core idea here is observing your thoughts and feelings objectively, like a scientist watching an experiment, without labeling them good or bad.
It's observing.
Just observing. This practice fosters self-acceptance and dramatically reduces the burden of negative self-talk. It lets you understand your emotions on a deeper level without the shame or guilt. You're simply acknowledging what is rather than immediately evaluating it.
I can see how that would be freeing, but how do you actually apply this? It sounds simple, but our brains are so wired for judgment, aren't they?
We really are. The book outlines a pretty clear 3-step exercise. First, describe the judgment objectively. Just state the facts of the thought or feeling. I'm feeling angry right now.
Okay, no story, just the fact.
Exactly. Second, identify how that judgment makes you feel physically, emotionally. My jaw is tight. I feel heat in my chest.
Got it.
And third, envision a life without that specific judgment. What new possibilities might open up if you weren't constantly evaluating yourself or the situation that way?
Like the example in the book about the baby on the plane.
Yeah, perfect example. Instead of, "Oh, I hate this baby crying on the plane," those parents should manage better, which just ramps up your own stress.
Right, adds layers of judgment.
And reframe it. Okay, I hear a baby crying loudly. I feel irritated. Acknowledge the feeling. But I recognize that babies behave unpredictably, and maybe it's not entirely the parent's fault.
So you acknowledge your irritation without layering on blame or extra judgment.
Exactly. And that's far less stressful for you.
It sounds like these practices offer a powerful way to confront something we all struggle with, that relentless inner critic. How does the book suggest we finally disarm that stinking thinking?
Yeah, stinking thinking, as Trenton calls it. It's basically those ingrained, often automatic, negative thought patterns, the mental scripts that just play on repeat, telling us we're not good enough or things will always go wrong.
The internal monologue that keeps us stuck.
Totally. The solution starts with recognizing this voice and its negative scripts, like maybe you catch yourself thinking, "I'm always so stupid."
Okay, awareness first.
Then you try to identify the underlying mistaken belief. Maybe it's, "I'm not smart enough," and maybe an unmet basic need, like needing more self-esteem.
Digging a bit deeper.
Right. Once you've broken it down, the crucial step is to actively rewrite these scripts into positive but also realistic affirmations, like, okay, I'm intelligent and capable. I just need to believe in myself more.
So it's not about denial, like pretending problems don't exist.
Not at all. It's about building self-compassion and cultivating a healthier, more supportive internal mindset.
That shift from negative scripts to positive affirmations also makes me think about perfectionism. Another common trap for that inner critic, right? It sounds like a good thing, but it often leads to so much anxiety. How does Trenton help us escape that particular trap?
He introduces this concept from Patrick Gaudreau called excellentism, and it really is a breath of fresh air.
Excellentism.
Perfectionism sets these impossible, unrealistic standards, leading to anxiety, depression, and this paralyzing fear of failure. You can't even start sometimes.
Totally. Analysis paralysis.
Exactly. Excellentism, on the other hand, is about striving for high standards, sure, but without compromising your well-being. It means embracing mistakes as, well, crucial opportunities for growth, not as signs of total failure.
So the focus shifts?
The focus shifts to your best efforts, your process, not some unattainable, flawless outcome that probably doesn't even exist.
Can you give an example? Like, how would an excellentist approach a project versus a perfectionist?
Okay, so a perfectionist might procrastinate out of fear, then work frantically, beat themselves up over tiny flaws, and maybe even miss the deadline feeling terrible. An excellentist might set ambitious goals, yes, but then build in buffer time, plan for potential roadblocks.
More realistic planning.
Right. And view any deviations or mistakes not as catastrophes, but as like data points for iterative improvement. Okay, that didn't work. What can I learn? How can I adjust? It's about consistently striving for your personal best while acknowledging, human fallibility.
So it's definitely not about settling for less. It's about a more sustainable, self-compassionate pursuit of goals. How does someone actually begin to make that transition from perfectionism to excellentism?
Well, it really starts with self-reflection. Asking yourself, am I struggling to meet my own high standards in a way that's actually harming me? Is this helping or hurting?
Being honest with yourself.
Yes. And importantly, consciously celebrating small victories along the way. Perfectionists often only see the gap between the ideal and the reality, right?
Always falling short.
But excellentists acknowledge progress. They recognize the steps forward. And that reinforces positive behavior and keeps motivation high on the journey instead of getting bogged down in disappointment or that analysis paralysis we mentioned.
Okay, we're building a quieter, more resilient inner world here. That makes sense. But, life inevitably throws external challenges at us too. How do we apply this idea of letting go to external pressures, especially in our relationships and, gosh, the digital space?
Yeah, it's all about protecting your mental space there too. Think about doom scrolling. We all do it sometime.
Oh, yeah. Guilty.
Right. But that constant exposure to negative news can genuinely harm your mental health. It leads to increased anxiety, sadness. It's measurable.
So Trenton advises.
He stresses conscious media consumption, being intentional about what content you engage with, actively choosing media that promotes positive messages or at least provides real value rather than just noise or negativity.
And this same intentionality applies to relationships.
Absolutely. Recognizing the signs of toxicity, that feeling of emotional exhaustion after interacting with someone, feeling drained, maybe a consistent disregard for your needs or boundaries, that's crucial.
And letting go in those situations.
The book firmly states that letting go, setting boundaries, is an essential act of self-care. Not selfishness, but self-care.
Okay. And when you've identified those challenging relationships, what's the practical advice for actually setting those boundaries? Especially without getting caught in endless justifications or arguments.
Yeah, that's tricky. It's about determining the degree of distance needed first. It might not mean cutting someone off entirely, maybe just less frequent contact. And then choosing appropriate communication methods, maybe face-to-face for close ties, perhaps written for less intimate connections if that feels safer.
And the key part about justification.
The crucial piece of advice is to avoid over-justification. You don't owe anyone a novel-length explanation. A clear, concise statement about your needs or limits usually suffices.
Why is that so important? Avoiding over-justification.
Because it often just opens the door for manipulation or arguments. You state your boundary clearly and calmly. You don't need to convince the other person or defend it endlessly.
Got it. And the book adds some nuance here too, right? Not every difficult interaction is automatically toxic.
Exactly. That's important.
Yeah.
Some difficulties might stem from simple misunderstandings, or maybe the other person is under external stress themselves. The goal is balance and self-protection, not necessarily immediate isolation from everyone who presents a challenge.
Right. It's about patterns, not just single incidents. Okay. Finally, let's talk about one of the most powerful acts of letting go. And that's practicing forgiveness. This often feels heavy, like it's about letting the other person off the hook. But Trenton really frames it differently, doesn't he?
He really does. The core idea is that forgiveness is primarily a path to freeing yourself from that heavy burden of anger, resentment, bitterness.
The stuff that weighs you down.
Precisely. The book emphasizes that it significantly improves both your mental and physical health. It is ultimately an act of radical self-care. It's about releasing the corrosive energy you expend holding onto those grudges.
So how do you do forgiveness? It sounds huge.
Trenton introduces a helpful framework, the 4 Ds of forgiveness. First, deep dive into the hurt. Really understand how it affected you. Don't gloss over it.
Acknowledge the pain.
Yes. Second, decide to forgive. Make a conscious choice for your own sake. Third, Do the work trying to understand the other person's perspective, maybe their limitations or circumstances, not to excuse their behavior, but to humanize them.
Okay, understand, not excuse.
Right. And finally, find deeper meaning in the healing process itself. What have you learned? How have you grown?
He uses an analogy too, doesn't he? About rocks.
Yeah, it's powerful. The analogy of carrying heavy rocks, these grudges, and then gradually going to a peaceful lake and removing them, one by one, feeling lighter and more liberated with each rock you set down.
That analogy really sticks with you, and it's so important to clarify. Forgiveness doesn't mean you're condoning what happened,
Not at all.
or even that you have to reconcile with the person who caused the hurt.
Absolutely not necessary. It's about releasing your burden for your own well-being. It's a nuanced, personal, and adaptable process. It's not one size fits all, and it's always, always about your healing first and foremost.
Okay. And tying all these strategies together, there's one practical tool that keeps popping up in the book for achieving clarity, for reducing that mental clutter: brain dumping.
Ah, yes, brain dumping. It sounds simple, maybe even a bit basic, but it's incredibly effective.
So the exercise is just for 10 minutes, write down everything on your mind.
Everything. No filter, no judgment. Don't stop to correct spelling or grammar. Just get it all out of the page. Worries, to-do lists, random thoughts, frustrations.
It sounds deceptively simple, but the benefits are apparently huge.
They really are. It helps prioritize tasks just by seeing them written down. It reduces that feeling of mental clutter because the thoughts aren't just swirling around anymore. It brings clarity, and it effectively trains your mind to focus better because you're acknowledging all the distractions instead of letting them run rampant internally.
It's like our working memory has limited space, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
By externalizing those thoughts onto paper, you free up mental RAM, essentially. It allows your brain to process information more effectively, maybe make space for creative thought rather than just getting stuck in that worry loop.
Like hitting a reset button for your brain.
That's a great way to put it, a mental reset.
So, wow, we've covered a lot in this deep dive into Nick Trenton's The Art of Letting Go. We've seen how understanding the dichotomy of control can really empower you.
Shifting that focus.
How practicing non-judgmental observation and embracing excellentism can genuinely transform your inner landscape.
Building that self-compassion.
And how consciously curating your digital world and setting boundaries and challenging relationships can protect your peace.
Essential skills today.
And, of course, that profound self-liberating act of forgiveness, all supported by really practical tools like brain dumping.
Yeah, and this all really underscores that letting go isn't, a magic pill or a one-and-done task. It's not something you just achieve and then you're finished.
It's a process.
It's a continuous journey, really, an ongoing commitment to mindfulness, to self-compassion, to applying these ideas day after day. It's truly an art worth mastering for a more peaceful, fulfilling, and present life.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe consider this provocative thought for yourself. What's one thing, big or small, that you've been holding on to? Maybe it's a past regret, a nagging worry about the future, or an expectation you have of someone else. What would it actually feel like to release that today, just for a moment? And what new possibilities might open up if you really did let it go?